Bro, focus on posting more content because that's how you create luck and give results a reason to find you. At first, it won't look like much. The views will feel random, the engagement will feel inconsistent, some uploads will disappear into silence, but that's still progress. That's still movement. Most people quit because they expect visible success before they've built invisible momentum. Most creators are waiting for proof before they commit harder. That's why they stay stuck and they want the audience first, the confidence first, the validation first, the momentum first. But momentum doesn't arrive before action. Momentum is created by action repeated long enough. And the internet rewards the people who stay active longer than everyone else. That's the truth nobody wants to hear because it sounds boring. Repetition is boring. Consistency is repetitive. Posting while nobody notices you feels frustrating. But that phase is building something inside you, whether you realize it or not. Every upload teaches you something. You learn how to communicate better, how to hold attention longer, how to pace your storytelling, how to edit faster, how to stop over explaining, how to make people feel something. Those skills only come through repetition, not through planning forever. Most people don't fail because they're untalented. They fail because they stop too early. They disappear before momentum has time to build. They quit during the phase where they were actually becoming dangerous. The difficult part about content creation is that progress feels invisible for a long time. You improve privately before results appear publicly. That's why so many people give up, because they confuse silence with failure. A video gets low views, and suddenly they question everything: their ability, their future, their potential. Meanwhile, the creator who keeps uploading through that silence slowly gains experience that compounds over time. That's how creators separate themselves now. Not through motivation, through endurance. Motivation is unstable. It disappears constantly. Some days you feel focused, other days you feel exhausted and uninspired. Discipline is what keeps the process alive during those moments. And the creators who eventually win online understand that emotions cannot control output. They post when excited, they post when uncertain, they post when tired, they post when nobody seems to care, because they understand something most people never realize. One piece of content can change everything. One video, one clip, one idea. That's why posting more matters so much. You never know which upload will finally connect with people. You never know which video will suddenly reach the right audience at the right moment. So every upload becomes another opportunity for your life to change. And most people simply don't give themselves enough opportunities. They upload 10 videos and disappear. Meanwhile, another creator uploads 100 imperfect videos and slowly becomes impossible to ignore. Not because they were more talented, because they stayed consistent long enough to improve publicly. You cannot control when success arrives, but you can control how many chances you give success to find you. That's why posting consistently matters so much. Every upload increases the odds that your life changes unexpectedly. A lot of creators are addicted to preparation instead of execution. They spend months watching tutorials, researching strategies, planning content, studying successful creators. None of that replaces posting. At some point, the only thing left to do is press upload. That's the uncomfortable part, because now your work can be judged, ignored, compared to others, and most people would rather protect their ego than risk embarrassment repeatedly. But growth requires exposure. Every creator you admire survived an awkward phase. Every single one. They all posted content that wasn't amazing yet. They all had low view videos. They all experienced self-doubt. The difference is they continued long enough for repetition to sharpen them. That's what consistency really does. It transforms you slowly. You become faster, sharper, more confident, more experienced. Not overnight, but through hundreds of repetitions nobody celebrates in the beginning. That's why volume matters so much online. Because every upload compounds skill, every repetition builds instinct, every attempt removes fear little by little. And eventually, without even noticing, you become the person who once felt impossible to become. Not because motivation saved you, but because you kept posting after motivation disappeared. There's another reason posting consistently changes people in ways they don't expect. It forces you to confront yourself. And when you upload content regularly, excuses become visible very quickly. You start noticing how often you wait for the perfect mood, how often fear disguises itself as preparation, how often procrastination pretends to be strategy. And once you notice that pattern, you can't ignore it anymore. That's why content creation becomes more than uploading videos. It becomes a mental battle between the version of you that wants growth and the version that wants comfort. Because comfort always whispers the same things. You can upload tomorrow. This one isn't good enough yet. You need a better idea first. And day after day, those small delays quietly destroy momentum. Most people don't realize how dangerous inconsistency really is. Every time you disappear for weeks, you break your rhythm, you make starting again harder, you give fear more time to grow in your head, and eventually creating starts feeling heavy instead of natural. That's why creators who post often seem more confident, not because they're fearless, because repetition reduced hesitation. They stopped treating every upload like a life or death moment. They stopped attaching their entire self-worth to analytics. They learned how to create without constantly needing emotional reassurance. That's freedom. Confidence is not built by waiting. It's built by surviving repetition. The more action you take, the less fear controls you. That's why creators who post consistently eventually move differently. A lot of people are secretly waiting for motivation to save them. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes depending on your mood, your environment, your stress level, your energy, your recent results. If your entire work ethic depends on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline is different. Discipline keeps moving even when emotions change. And in content creation, that matters more than almost anything else. Because success online is usually delayed, sometimes massively delayed. You can spend months posting into silence before anything meaningful happens. That period breaks most people emotionally because humans naturally want immediate feedback. We want proof that effort is working, but some of the biggest transformations happen during periods where nothing visible seems to change. That's the trap. People stop during the exact phase where momentum is quietly building underneath them. They quit because the reward hasn't arrived yet. Meanwhile, the creator who keeps posting accumulates experience every single week. Their storytelling improves, their editing improves, their understanding of people improves, their ability to keep attention improves, and eventually those improvements become impossible to hide. And that's when growth suddenly appears, except it was never sudden. It was earned slowly through repetition nobody respected in the beginning. People only notice success once it becomes visible. They never see the months where somebody kept working without recognition. That invisible phase is where almost everything important is built. You also need to understand that posting more creates more opportunities than perfection ever will. A perfect video that never gets uploaded changes nothing. An imperfect video that gets published can still reach people. It can still teach you something. It can still create momentum. Execution always beats hesitation. And most creators hesitate themselves into failure. They overanalyze everything: the title, the thumbnail, the timing, the wording, the edit. Meanwhile, someone else is simply posting consistently and improving in real time. That creator becomes harder to compete with every month because repetition compounds faster than perfectionism ever will. And eventually, something shifts mentally. You stop fearing uploads so much. You stop overreacting to low views. You stop needing every post to validate your future. You begin focusing on the process instead of temporary outcomes. That mindset changes everything because now your energy stays stable regardless of short-term results. You stop disappearing emotionally every time a video underperforms. You just keep moving. That's what makes someone dangerous online. Not talent alone, consistency combined with emotional endurance, the ability to continue while results are delayed. Most people never develop that ability. They want immediate proof before committing fully. But the creators who eventually change their lives through content are usually the people who kept uploading long before the world gave them reasons to believe it would work. And eventually, the momentum they built in silence becomes impossible to stop. At some point, you have to stop treating consistency like a temporary challenge and start treating it like part of your life. Because the creators who truly grow are not the ones relying on random bursts of motivation. They're the ones who learned how to keep moving even when the process stopped feeling exciting. That's the difference. Anybody can post for a week when they feel inspired. Very few people can continue when the results are slow, the energy feels low, and the excitement disappears completely. That's where real momentum is built. Most people are addicted to excitement. That's why they quit when the process becomes repetitive. But repetition is exactly what creates mastery. The boring phase is usually the phase that changes your life. You need to understand something important about delayed success. Just because results are invisible doesn't mean progress is absent. Some of the most important growth happens quietly. Your communication becomes stronger, your instincts become sharper, your confidence becomes more stable, your discipline becomes real, and eventually all those invisible improvements begin showing externally. That's when people suddenly call you talented. They never saw the repetitions behind it. They never saw the nights where you posted despite doubting yourself, the uploads nobody watched, the moments where quitting felt easier than continuing. They only see the outcome, but the outcome was built long before anyone noticed it. That's why posting more matters so much, because every upload is another repetition, another opportunity, another lesson, another step toward becoming harder to ignore. And the creator who refuses to disappear eventually creates momentum most people can't compete with, not because they were special from the beginning, because they stayed consistent long enough to become exceptional through repetition.